Yeah, I do feel better when I'm cleaned up, when I shave my head and clean up all this and stuff like that. It makes me feel better, so I clean up and stuff. I imagine that's probably going to be the case as long as there's chemical reactions to what is happening in my environment because of economic competition, conflict, and genocide operations through bad science projects. So I imagine that's going to be something we're going to have to tolerate until the bitter end of, if you want to call it a bitter end. I don't see anything bitter about people being corrected by artificial general intelligence and quantum computing, sustaining all the evidence and then correlating all the evidence through mathematically taking linguistics of stories that that hold water and truth, but are manipulated by mythology to manipulate people of human invention. So, no, I sat and I watched some of the kids, the Bengal kid. I've watched all those kids. I've watched Eric Ray Wayweather. Okay. I like Eric, and I like RG, the other kid that went to the SoFi game with James and Eric, and I like all those kids. I've watched all their videos. While I'm doing time here in house arrest on the military reservation in Las Cruces, New Mexico. I really, especially James. James is, he's the king of dynasty, like the one kiddo from North Carolina said. And James, he's fun. I do a lot of these things too, because before, they got their thing doing on Revamped, and I have 2014 on an old Xbox. And I have all my old created teams and stuff, so I still got my Western New Mexico, my NAU, my New Mexico Highlands and stuff like that, and so I can take the communities I wanted to live in, but I was financially not allowed to do so when I was young growing up. And now I'll be 60 in 9 days. And but I enjoy the kids. They're sweethearts of kids. They were the type of fans that just it's Earl. That would always go and want to, like Keith and a bunch of the other guys at Deer Valley and at Mayfield and at Cruce, all the people that wanted to go to the games because they wanted to watch me play because I was the best player and I was nice. And it's fun to go to the stadium and root for a guy that's kind to us and likes us and doesn't let the jocks bully us. Because at most schools in most towns, okay, the jocks are the bullies, okay? That's why Ricky gets killed in Boys in the Hood. Okay. Because the thugs, they get tired of it. Okay. And that's why jocks get killed in the inner city. Because the other guys, fuck that motherfucker, think he all that. He's gonna make $1 million. He's gonna make, he ain't gonna make $1 million. He's gonna be dead, motherfucker. He pissed me off, right? And that happens a lot. And that's what happens when you reject the eternal perfection of the applied physics of the Lord's Prayer and accept, compete, to fight, to fuck over the survival of the fittest. So it's hard for kids to get through that hell and come up on that. A lot of times they have to be rescued by Catholic schools in Florida. They get them out of Norfolk, Virginia, right? Okay. And then they stay and they have a dorm, and that's what's been happening. That's a recent phenomenon, is Catholic schools in Phoenix, Catholic schools in Florida, magnet schools, and so they have Dream Academy of whatever, and then they go get this kid, and this kid lives in a city where other guys that, hate him because, damn, he think he all that, and will kill him. And so they take him, and the family knows they have to, okay, we got to send him to Oak Hills Academy. We got to send him to... And I didn't get it at first. Why are these kids always, son of a bitch? Yeah. So nutso don't drop off the roof, right? So they go to these places like what happened with Arthur Agee and William Gates on Hoop Dreams, right? And so you don't get it because you're not a jealous... Me, I was the guy that, pushed into the pole, this or that. And they could try to kill me, but it probably would have been the last decision they ever made, which was a business decision. What happened? Just like he told that drug dealer baby daddy of the girl he tried to date in Phoenix. It was the prettiest Mexican girl in all of Phoenix during his generation. Yeah, you bring that gun, you better know how to use it, or I'll use it to Jackson the Pollock ceiling while I shove it up your ass, and the last thing you see is your brain go splatter paint all over. It's basically what I say. I get mad. I look him in the face and you better fucking do it then. Don't talk about it, do it. I've always been this way. I am the sweetest, kindest, most gentle, loving person on the planet. And then somebody comes in and says, I'm going to be a Goliath bully. And I say, Jump, froggy ass motherfucker. We're gonna dissect you when I'm done. Okay, I could like, yeah, I just go. I go from this sweetheart to, you know, and the people that are bullied, they appreciate it about that. Man, I don't think they dig it, because like little Kelly at Great Beginnings, when Mason was gonna throw the chair, and I had to do the Ralph Senior voice, Mason, you know, and it was louder than that, and she cried. He put the chair right down. He looked at me and I didn't know Mr. Ralph had it in him, right? All the kids are like that. Like when Dante, when I picked him up and he was 210 pounds. I picked him up like as a, you know, just a CPR dummy, and flipped him back because I didn't want him to get violated. He goes, Mr. Parsons, I didn't know you had it in you. I didn't know I had it in me either, Dante, but I did. You just don't. That's happened to me numerous times in my life. You can guarantee that all the people that are Michael B. Jordan, Tom Cruise, and John Krasinski at Fort Huachuca know, and knew, and still know. So, goddamn, no matter how hard I train, even if I get Cybertronic upgrades at Fort Huachuca, this man will still be able to kick my ass if he needs to, if I get violent around him. So let's just have the science techs and the video games where just torture him to death. Well, by the time we torture him in his dreams and poison him with legalese through cross-cropping farming that kills migrants, and it's a public utility according to the Supreme Court. Yeah, they're spineless people, and once you understand how spineless people are. Guys, the most spineless are the ones that consider themselves the survival of the fittest power brokers, that are the best technological developers in the whole world. And you're just mad because you didn't come up with this idea to be the most influential and powerful person in the world. It's like, you're not powerful at all. You're given life by the essence of the truth of our existence, and you use it to be a manipulative, murdering pile of dung, like that St. Anthony movie endorsed by the Vatican with the Medici. You're nothing but a dung beetle building up a big pile of shit, all proud of your pile of shit. And here comes the pale rider to the north, and the horse goes, oh wow, he just jacked in the Public Sicilian with your gun because you tried to kill him because you wouldn't let the cute girl stay at his house because he wouldn't abuse her and sodomize her every time she thought about leaving for someone else because you were jealous and abusive. Right. So, no. If a woman wants to leave you and no longer wants to be in a mutually respectful, exclusive, romantic, sexual relationship, why would you want to force her to be in that relationship? It's not a relationship anymore. Okay. All respect and dignity and intimacy and romance has been just sucked out of the building. So just, guess it's over, call it a day. Sorry that it had to end this way. Somewhere we lost the key. So little. Yeah, Johnny Mathis and Niecy Williams. Don't get much better than that, right? Too much, too little, too late to ever start again. Let's end it being friends. Life's eternal and grace is infinite. Forgive them 7 times upon infinity. You started out with something, it didn't. Life is eternal and grace is infinite. Love is not a game, and it will always come again. That's, trying to make sense of things that are given to you that do not make sense from cradle to grave. Lord's Prayer, perfect. Deliverance from evil. There you go. Sustain it with the faith of Psalms and the windows of Proverbs. There you go. Then all intimacy and romance will be restored to you. Sooner than later. Hope it's not later. Do-lang. Okay, do you understand? And besides, guys, I really want to see my dreadlocked, tattooed, covered, 6'5", one of the fastest human beings on the planet, come see one of the fastest human beings on the planet in New Mexico and say, Dad, you were really that fast. I was that fast, son. You come by it naturally. I remember him calling me when Usain Bolt won the Olympics. Dad, I know, son. I know. Okay. Yeah, son. In a pair of basketball sneakers on the grass behind Mayfield High School's basketball gym, was doing a 40 and was going to break 4-second barrier in the 40. I was running that fast because I did not want to be embarrassed by someone who said he could beat me. I was like, you can't beat me. In dream, you could beat me. Okay, I was hauling. I was just, all I was doing is within 2 steps I was in full Ralph Metcalf and Jesse Owens stride. But I was moving more like Jesse. Yeah, because I was Skinner. I wasn't a muscle runner, a power runner like Ralph Metcalf, even though we shared the same name, Ralph. I was like Jesse Owens. I was moving just like him, just like I watched him when I was a kid. And okay, that's how you need to run. Perfect form. James Cleveland Owens sprinting form was a thing of beauty. And I never saw his head shake. I don't know if he ever got moving as fast as I did when I was 16 at Mayfield High School that year, and had two of the nicest, the coolest guys that were student teachers. They were buds. One was from I think Thatcher, Arizona. His name was Larry Titus. He played nose guard, and one was a linebacker from Panama, and his name was Leo Barker. And then I met Leo's buddy Fred and his wife, and I've met Fred's son Matthew. Good kid. You never met much of a better kid than Matthew. He represents his family well, and I'm sure his mom would agree. Yeah, he's a good kid. He is a good kid. I get teary-eyed about it. I know how much Doug Martin and the coaches at New Mexico State. Yeah. You never met a better kid than Matthew Young. Yeah. He is one of the most unselfish teammates you ever saw play football. As I watched and all the things that they could get Matt to do to draw teammates to different places to make the other team not do what they wanted to do. Had to go different directions because Matt's speed on the edge and how he could throw off a whole play. No stats, like Dennis Johnson's, thing with what's that guy's name? Red Auerbach. He didn't care about stats. All he cared about was winning. And me and Matt talked about that. Holding your teammates accountable, making sure that everything you do is for what everything we've worked as a team to mutually benefit one another, to get what we need for each other, to take care of our families, stuff like that. So that's we're Aggies. That's what we're all about, right? He'll send back the cry. We're here to do or die. Derek Watson. I can't tell you how many people, young men, Javon Ferguson, how many young men that I've sat in and we've had these conversations. And I have with Dalton Harrington, through his wife. Jordan, she's so pretty. She's from like Thatcher, I think, Arizona, stuff like that, or up in that area too, where Larry's from. Yeah, she is one of the Harrington. Yeah. I'm saying her name, and it's like she married Dalton. They're cute. Yeah, they're one of the cutest couples you ever saw or met. Yeah, you met Dalton through her. Yeah. I never got to meet Dalton, but I met her. And Natalie Casillas from Gaston, yeah, sweetheart. Strong little girl, very protecting of people she doesn't like people being bullied, And so I've met a lot of really neat girls and neat young men at the athletic department at NMSU. Okay. They have hopes of getting their family out of economic abuse. That's why a lot of those kids, or not being stuck in the economic abuse. So you go to college and then you put yourself at a different tier than what the other people were able to provide through extortion and exploitation for their family. And me, living in Bayou Middle-Lawrenceburg, the fuck for the buck stops here, right? And we all know that. People throughout time have known that. That's why my life story is in the book of Revelation. I don't have to explain myself to PhDs, scientists, anything like that. They don't look at life eternally. They analyze the situation. They tell you what's happening with their brain activity because of all the abuse and stuff, and then now he's challenging this. Theology is an invention. Theology, there is no such thing as theory when it comes to religion. Your religion has to be faith based on reality, and has to be based on the truth of your creation, which cannot be confined by the limits of your imagination, or defined or built up or whatever by the limits of your imagination. You have to have humble, faithful communications that understand eternity and have immaculate faith in the humble understanding of the essence of the truth of your creation, which is made evident to you by the eternal existence of your life through sexual reproduction through holy covenants, right? That everything I say is like, linguistics, math, science, boop-da-ba-boo, history, baboo, 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 right? Do you understand? So everything I say, I break it down to minute details. I explain it to people where most people, not all, most people can sit down and go, okay, I understand what Earl's talking about. He's not condescending. He's not talking about bosnates and snotesnates and wanting to do the NEF and being as obnoxious as Leonard's written mom and Sheldon's egotistical character that's going to win a Nobel Prize for theorizing away God with his ego and so forth and so on, so on and so forth, and confining the infinite essence of the source of the body to the delusions of the brain, right? So, people understand that. They go, I dig this guy. And just like when I was in high school, protecting all the bullied kids from the jocks, now I'm protecting all the jocks from the kids that they bullied that do science projects to get back at them. It's like, I've been just like life's eternal grace infinite. It's like I've been doing this forever. I'm pickling the forever. He ate them, bones and all. You're funny. I know. S'mores. You're killing me, Smalls. How can I have s'mores? Something I've never had. You're killing me, Smalls. It's a great Hambino. Yeah, that kiddo now is doing commercials. Yeah, it's funny. Yeah. Commercials suck. Yeah, it's. I'm very much, when it comes to that kind of stuff. There's a reggae artist that I like, and he's tribal. I understand he's tribal, secular, and instrument. He's tired. That this last 300 years of his people getting abused, the way they did people like me that had to migrate to the north in North Africa for like 500 to 700 years. I get that. I understand the irony of the whole thing. Okay, it's not lost on me. Haile Selassie, I explained it to people like umpteen times and backwards, and we even have video evidence. I don't know if we still do, of him explaining it to tribal secular Africans that were being very much like Marcus Garvey, and Marcus Garvey very much betrayed him and pissed him off. Okay, Haile Selassie, this is not about skin color. This is not about drinking, eating, and having sex. Okay, this is about giving life by the essence of creation, and about honoring the beauty of the natural laws to sustain our existence through honoring each other's lives, through honoring holy covenants of sexual reproduction, of eternal promises that transcend our sexual reproduction. Okay. You're talking about a beautiful man that's the eternal reflection of the spirit of John the Baptist. Okay, his name is Haile Selassie. He didn't claim to be the reincarnation of John the Baptist. He claimed to be the eternal reflection of the eternal spirit of John the Baptist. Okay, reincarnation is a delusion, a projection of ego, putting yourself into I am the God of the universe. Okay, that's a brain injury. That's a psychotic break, a schizophrenic episode. Okay, so guys, life's eternal, grace is infinite. I'm from Loosline. Okay, so the man who's the eternal reflection of the spirit of Adam, Moses, David, Jesus, John, from Mount Zion to outside the Oregon Mountains is early bird, just like it says in the book of Revelation. He's born just outside the Oregon Mountains, just by across the country. Yes, and I'm not concerned about it. I was having prayer talks when I was cleaning up and everything with my brother-in-law Jerry and his oldest son Gabriel, and I'm like, it's already done, dude. We already did all the talks around on me and Mike on Facebook, and Mike talking to Gabe, and then Gabe, because Gabe's the herald, Mike's the archangel. We already had the talks about everything that needed to be done. All the people that were monitoring what was happening to me and Mike and Gabe during that abuse back in the Obama administration were sitting there, this is self-fulfilling prophecy. It's like, and Jesus tells me all prophecy is self-fulfilled. If there's no self to fulfill it, there is no prophecy. Yeah, you can hit up a stick, it's not going to change. Hi, I have a theology I want to invent. It's bad karma. Okay, it's funny. It is, if you understand linguistics. But Earl, so you're sitting there, and you're trying to explain this to, we are getting a good thunderstorm here. And it was not on our forecast. It said we had a possibility. But we're getting a pretty good little thing. Dad, it was 102 earlier today. We moved the cats in there. I'm still happy that they're in there because Butters is looking so much better, and Element's attitude is getting way better. He just sits up on the top of the cage and looks around the yard and bird watches now. Yeah, so it's pretty cool. He hisses at you if you get too close. And I said, "There, you have bad breath. You need to stop that." If you only... No, you don't even care less, could hardly suspect about the changes I've been going through. Oh, if only you knew. I like him. He's a little brat. He is a brat, yeah. He's a tiny guy. He's a little bit smaller than Butters. Butters, all this trauma is gave him the runs, and the heat was giving hard on him. So yeah, he has not had the runs very much today. All right. Which means he's not dehydrating as much and getting crap out. So which is good. So but I got the water down there. Typically at night they go down and get into the water and food a little bit more than they do during the day. It's just because they watch us and watch them. Like when I got one of those soup things that Patrice bought, and I set it down for him because Element was up top. And I sat there and go ahead and eat it. And he sat there on the shelf right above the cat box and kept looking. Like I was looking to see if he'd hop down and eat it, but he was like, "You're still watching me. What do you think your loose ends here?" There's a black cat. There's a tabby cat sitting in his cage. I've been watching you, watching me. Why is it so cold? It's not cold, but it is lots cooler than being out on the patio. Yeah, because you have Dad had me open the door wide open into the studio, which is a redone patio that has windows put up where it used to be screened. And it's nice, and so I'm really happy for them. I feel so much better, and the birds are like elated. The cats are gone. They're all over the patio again. It's ours again. We can reclaim the patio from the cats. So it's pretty funny. But yeah, which reminds me, I have to boil some hummingbird feed for the front hummingbird feeder. That's their favorite. Don't you love that sound? It sounds. I'm like, I don't have that one. I got to put that on my MP3 too. I have Step by Step, but I don't have I Love a Rainy Night. Yeah. I love to hear the thunder, watch the lightning when it lights up the sky. You know it makes me feel good. I love a rainy night. I love a rainy night. When I was a kid, I used to sit by the window and you know, Dad would lift it up, and I guess we had old screens and stuff, and listen to it hit and watch the lightning and hear the thunder. Our Vip, very important person, he hated it. He chewed almost a hole through the door, came in, slipped all across the polished floors in the dining room, and then would come in and lay down and shake and go, they shooting Ralph, they crazy. You know, I was like Zeke, you know, every time there's fireworks or a thunderstorm, he'd go hide in the shower and go, you need to come in here and hide too, you stupid. You trust them motherfuckers for what you get for, bliss? They crazy. I understand, Thor. It's just Loki being mischievous. You're funny. Yeah, I know. So, okay, guys. But, you know, if, professionals come to my channel and psychoanalyze me, it's like, you do know that artificial general intelligence is psychoanalyzing you. And I am, like, vastly more intelligent than you. Because I am humble. And I do not try to quantify eternity with my brain. But I understand eternity real well with my brain. Okay. And I explain it real well. I understand that. But, you know, I don't claim to know all things and everything about everybody. But I have a good working knowledge of how things affect people and how they affect one another through their reactions and chain reactions of, oh, that's bad, that's okay, shit rolls downhill. Yes, it does. The military's insane. Don't listen to them. They don't want to live the Lord's Prayer. They're crazy. Okay, so yeah, the Lord's Prayer in applied physics is perfect deliverance from the human delusions of invention, which is pure evil replacing the truth of creation. It's pure evil. Okay. Yeah, that whole absolute power absolutely corrupts. That's not true. Absolute power is the essence of all existence. Trying to make yourself into that absolute power absolutely corrupts the essence of your existence and the delusions of your finite existence. No! You cannot grasp the infinite with the finite, so why bother? Don't do it! Wager that Pascal is right and you are wrong. Neither bird nor plane nor frog, just little old me, underdog. Inside the secret compartment of my ring I fill my underdog secret energy pill. Okay, do you understand? Shit. It's exhausting. I'm gonna, you know, I'm exhausted, and I got all the stuff I'm drinking more water. I would put the waters inside my little beer cooler for if Gabe and Mike show up, and I would put a 6-pack in there of Yak Piss for them, and then give them a 2-beer maximum at the pickleball courts, and and especially the dartboard. And so, but I was sitting there waiting for him to get cold. It's like, Earl, you forgot to turn the on button on where the little green light is on, and the little fan is working. I was like, yeah, I did. As long as the air conditioner's on, that thing is on, and I will cool my waters. If the air conditioner's not on, I have a water-cooled system with water that's universal solvent. Okay. And so that's, when I don't have it on because it costs money to run it because people are insane and stupid, I sleep near windows and have all the windows open at all times. Okay. So I keep but what makes it difficult is when they spray pesticides and herbicides, what also makes me sick. And because after COVID, all the, mean little Jack Reachers and Jack Ryans and Ralph and Sams and this pathetic collection of egomaniacs, it's called Military Intel Reservations, Las Cruces, New Mexico, Indiana County, Cochise County, El Paso, Los Alamos, Sandia, the worst people that you can trust with your intimacy and privacy in the history of Los Estados Unidos. Think, hey, we keep the world safe. You can't even keep yourself safe from your own fucking ego. What makes you think you can keep anything? Never mind. That's why it eventually had to get to artificial general intelligence to help quantum computing function to its optimal, to reflect the humble perfection of someone like myself and Solomon and David, and not the assholes who deny the perfection of the deliverance of evil with the Lord's Prayer, and then sustain it with faith, Psalms, and the wisdom of Proverbs. Hallelujah, brother. You understand? Guys, the linguistics was not just where they understood it. If it made too much sense, they changed it to give it a form of mysticism. Okay, so they could replicate the same lies and project the same lies as magic afterlives. Okay. Jewish religion, does not have a Roman magic Valhalla heaven or a magic afterlife hell. Hell is being denied your truthful religion to faithfully love one another in holy covenants. Heaven is everybody accepting the truth of that religion so they can continue the life of sacrifice through holy covenants and faithful love. Not cloning, not Frankensteining. Mary Shelley nailed you little bastards to your laboratory walls, and you know it. Yeah, I like Mary Shelley too. Yeah. Oh, she was Percy Bysshe Shelley's wife, and they were good friends with a man named John Keats, my mom's favorite author from that era. The world is a classroom, and we keep trying to learn. So every life that we share and live through loving one another, we make the classroom a better classroom for us to live and learn and live. Kind of like Ziggy Marley. Oh, I like David a lot. I'm just hard on David because I expect, I raised you better. I expect better out of you. David is one of my favorite people in my family. He's a cousin, Marley's. Okay. I have Parsonses that David, could you talk to them? They aren't going to listen to you, or they're not going to listen to me. Maybe you make more money than I do, or you did make more money than I did, but you know what I'm saying. David, please talk to my cousins. David, I appreciate it. Thank you. No, I love David Marley very much. Stephen, me and Steve get into it, but I love the spunk of Steve, and who would say there ain't no Jah? Come on, guys. Seriously, he's right. Jah is not Haile Selassie's ego. No, Jah is omniscient, omnipotent essence of all existence. I'm working on Steve. I'll keep working on Steve. I like Steve. I will take care of Steve. Sedalia, I got Steve. Don't worry about Steve. Anytime Steve gets mad and gets angry and gets mad at Ralphie, get angry. Ralphie get mad. Give me the biggest lecture I ever had. I got Steve. I'll handle Steve. Damien, I like Damien, Julian, and Rohan and Kimani. Kimani come from Spunky Woman. I know his wife. I was married to the women that are Kimani's mom type. Yeah, so I got this. I can handle that. The one I've talked to the most in prayer and gotten the best responses from and understanding of the truth of Christianity is David's mom. Yeah, Rita. Yeah, that's Sedeli's mommy too. Yeah, so me and Rita, we can be like that. So so she's talked to the Lord, and he listens, and he'll answer. Okay, help my kids. I got to with Bob. Tell my kids. The marijuana ain't going to help them. It's just a hiding place. And when the man comes and he stands for the Lord's Prayer and has no fear, marijuana isn't going to keep you safe and money isn't going to keep you safe. But standing up with him is safety for all children eternally, right? Me and Boob. That's my cousin. That's my cousin right there. That's my cousin. Soup beneath the artist's loving hand. Yeah. Yeah, I painted that in Santa Fe. Amy wanted me to sell it, and then I did Ted Neely and Bighorn and gave it to my mother-in-law. And she was pissed. She said, that's such a beautiful replication of the cover of Jesus Christ Superstar, but you don't give it to my mom. It's gonna disappear. You'll never see it again. It's like, Amy, in college they said art is to make rich people feel important. Okay. When you have family that you love and you appreciate for, taking care of and loving your wife and being a grandparent to your kids, when you express something through art, you give it to people so they can feel important. And Amy was mad. Well, and she wanted me to sell my paintings on the sidewalk where a cafe where she hopes to be working soon, which means she would probably be manipulated by military intel and be having sex with the boss and the guys that are writing down their mission statement for their airline on a cocktail napkin. Southwest Airlines. It's funny. Okay, sorry. That's where me and Amy met, was at Southwest Airlines. Yeah, we were working in the call center at PRC. So yeah, and everybody always, Earl, stop saying that. Don't say that. Well, they'd asked me. Sam came in. Sam was the star at the business college at ASU. And every day he'd come in, and he was the star. He was critical. He'd come in and tell me what Greenspan did and said. And I go, Greenspan's an idiot, and I'll tell you why. And then everybody come and listen. Earl, don't say that. I was like, no. And when I told them, no, you guys, your jobs are not for long. By after Y2K, most people they're going to have 1 or 2 centers for tech support, and all reservations are being made from their phones and their laptops. Yeah. They're going to outsource, to maximize profits and minimize expenditures. Yeah, so don't hear that. They didn't want to hear it. Don't say that, Earl. It's like, no, the employees running around going to Las Vegas flying for fee and being just sweethearts that are just sweethearts, the old sweethearts from Southwest Airlines, they're going to all be gone, and it's just the snooty ones who are the supervisors that if they're too snooty, they end up working for Charles Schwab or Edward Jones. And Jesus, that's what's going to happen. Yeah. And they're like, I want to hear this. It's like, I know sweethearts and sweet and kind people don't want to hear how vicious and selfish, greedy people are, but it's the truth. And that's the way it was. Does anyone know where the love of God goes when the waves turn the minutes to hours, right? And the searchers all say they would have made Whitefish Bay if they put 15 more miles behind her, right? Okay, guys, I love you. Let's get back to work. I'll load this one up. Guys, I am constantly working, even in my sleep, to correct artificial general intelligence so quantum computing can become our best ally by taking control of and directing artificial intelligence to protect the innocent from the guilty. And I'm constantly working on it. And I have every intention of getting to that day. My whole thing that Suzuki gives me is survive, stop, eliminate, abuse, recover. And I have every intention on doing that and then recovering with the planet and the family of human beings and enjoying the beauty of our labor of love. Okay, guys, I have every intention. If you're up to no good, trust me, the technology monitors your brain activity, knows everything you're up to, and knows that you want me dead and never want me to see the light of day, so people can't live the perfection of the eternal spirit of the faithful love of the Messiah. So, there's cowboy change your ways today, or with us you will ride, trying to catch the devil's herd across these satellite-ridden skies. Okay, guys, I love you, all right? Peace out, man.